Hi everyone, welcome back to lesson 4, eating patterns. Don't forget to fill out that food and activity log because this is going to be beneficial for you in the end to go over it to see what changes have been made from lesson 1 to now, and are you setting new goals for yourself and are they attainable? So let's get started. I have time to eat breakfast never 1 to 3 times per week, 4 to 5 times per week, and almost always. There's no right or wrong answer here. Everybody's different. Everyone's on their own time frame. And if you are someone who is starting to eat breakfast, but you're starting slowly, that's okay. I am someone who eats breakfast every day. However, my breakfast meals vary day to day. So depending how early my start time is going to determine what type of meal I will be having. And if I have an early start time, it's going to be something a lot simple and fast. And if I have a later start time, it's going to be a little bit of a meal that's going to take a little bit longer to set up. So connecting, eating, and sleeping. What is the best time to eat the first meal of the day? And when should I eat my last meal or snack of the day? What foods are more tempting to eat and when? There are many different answers to these questions and there's no right answer. Every individual is going to have their start time and end time differently. And whether or not you are physically active, once again, determines when you're going to eat, right? So everyone's biological cues are going to tell them when they're hungry at various points in the day, and it's just going to be different for everyone. So 1 in 3 teens sleep the recommended 9 to 10 hours each night. Well, first, that means not enough teenagers are getting enough sleep. And secondly, 9 to 10 hours seems like a large part of the day. And biologically, teens tend to feel more alert later in the evening and may not feel sleepy until about 11 p.m. Most high schools have early start times, so it's not unusual to be up by 6 or 6:30 to get ready. And early start times are among the many reasons why teens face of getting enough sleep. Looking back at being in high school, there's so much to do. You're doing volunteer work, you're playing sports, you're studying, you're doing homework, you're socializing. You have an early start time. I remember getting up every day at 6 in the morning because school started at 7:45. And then I had soccer practice and making sure everything was done. And I'd be lucky to get in bed by 10. I don't know, looking back, I don't know how there was time in the day to do everything that we need. So being a teenager, there is a lot going on. And so contributions to the lack of sleep is a moderate to high caffeine use and using electronics after 9 p.m. So how many of you take your phone into bed and you're scrolling on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok? All these apps are keeping you awake longer when you should be getting that rest, because sleeping enough is going to help with your everyday choices with food and starting early with breakfast. So difficulty getting out of bed can reduce the odds of breakfast. If you are having a hard time getting out of bed, that means you're snoozing a little bit more, which means that you are cutting time out from eating breakfast to now just getting ready and starting your day. And in order to improve that, you have to get to bed earlier, which means no phone, no video games, no electronics before 9 p.m., which also means cutting back on the caffeine earlier in the day. And then it's just this one big snowball. So snacking excessively the night before can reduce your appetite, and often those snacks that you're choosing to eat late at night are not the most nutritious. Next time that you're hungry late at night, what's something that you could eat instead of like the chips or cookies? So sleep is essential for proper functioning. So we know that for proper functioning. It's going to help with your brain, your immune system, your cardiovascular, and your digestive. And then the other benefits that are included with proper sleep is improved memory, which helps with retention. And so, learning new material in school and retaining it and then recalling that new information can lead to better test scores, refined motor skills, which can help with the how movement, such as how to throw a ball or perform a new dance move or drive a car. And then hormone regulation. During sleep, the body releases hormones that help repair cells and control the use of energy. And so this all boils down to your overall health. Take a look at that food and activities log and see where changes can be made, what changes have happened, and again, ask yourself how these changes make you feel. Maybe there was a day where you included a little bit more variety, and then you had another day where you included a little bit of empty calories. What was the difference between those 2 days? If you can recall on how your overall well-being was mentally, were you capable of keeping up with classes? Did you have enough energy to go through the day? Did you feel alert or sluggish? So those are things to reflect back on and realize what is associated with which food log. So that can also move on to your activity log. How many minutes did you include in your day? What was the intensity level? How did you feel afterwards? How did that feel when it came down to studying or doing homework? And then overall, if you've made these changes, have you noticed any differences in your attendance in class, in your participation? Or maybe you're noticing that your test scores are improving more because including physical activity has helped you stay more awake and given more energy to review your notes and so on and so forth. Making time for breakfast and you'll reap the benefits. So increases physical activity, it helps improve test scores and grades, helps with muscle and building and repairing, and then it may help you focus on more clearly and be alert at school. So protein at breakfast helps you from getting hungry so quickly. So including protein for a power-packed breakfast may look like yogurt and fruit smoothie with a granola bar, or maybe it's egg and cheese burrito with avocado and salsa, or it can be a peanut butter on toast with milk and an apple. So protein-packed foods include Greek yogurt, 1 cup of milk, peanut butter, and 2 eggs. So why should you care? Why make the time for breakfast? If you are an athlete, then you know that not getting enough nutrients and energy is going to do more harm. So you'll notice more fatigue, injury. These are things to take into consideration. The 3 main nutrients that we've gone over and over again are the macronutrients, supply the body with energy and carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So breakfast should include a balance of these 3 macronutrients. And why does the infographic emphasize protein? Well, that's just because many of the typical breakfast choices can be lower in protein than the other 2 nutrients. So with most breakfast meals, it's just that there's a high amount of carbohydrates and fat, but not enough protein in there. And so this poster is basically just making sure that you include protein into your breakfast as well to kind of give you a little bit of everything. And we've learned that a variety is key, and this is why protein is important to include into your breakfast as well. They all work together to help you feel fuller, longer, gives you a more regular digestion. It can help with staying awake. It you'll get the quick source of energy from your carbohydrates, but then you'll have the slow down effect from your fat. So it all works together to have this balance in your breakfast. And it's just a great way to start the day. So we are going to watch this video on how to build a breakfast.
Why should make breakfast the most important meal of your day? You wake up in the morning and after hours without food, it's time to break the body's fast with breakfast. The word breakfast literally means to break the fast, and it provides your body with the energy it needs for your day's activities. Sometimes we skip this meal or grab food without considering nutrition. A breakfast of orange juice and a donut provides you a quick burst of energy, as these foods are primarily simple carbohydrates. It may be better than eating nothing, although it can leave you feeling pretty tired in class or during morning practice. Why is that? Because fruit juices and refined grains, like a donut, contain simple carbohydrates that might give you about an hour of energy, but lack important nutrients like fiber and protein, which provide longer lasting energy and keep you full for longer. Consider the benefits of a balanced breakfast. A balanced breakfast provides energy that is released about over 3 hours, so you can focus better in class and have enough energy until lunchtime. What makes a balanced breakfast? One way is choosing foods from 3 of the 5 food groups. Include 1 serving from the grains group, 1 serving from vegetables or fruits, and 1 serving of dairy or protein. This is called the 3 out of 5 model, and it creates a balanced breakfast. Why choose foods from all these groups? Because together these foods include all 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. The combination of these nutrients allows you to have an initial release of energy from the carbohydrates, followed by several hours of sustained energy from protein and fat. These macronutrients take longer for your body to digest. Choosing food group foods, such as a banana on toast with a glass of milk, are a tasty and healthy way to build a balanced breakfast. Most of us eat enough grains at breakfast while we fall short on protein-rich foods in the morning. Protein at breakfast helps you stay fuller longer and helps maintain and grow muscles. Here are some good sources of protein you can consider for breakfast: nuts, eggs, peanut butter, yogurt, and milk. Research shows that people who consume breakfast tend to have more nutritious diets in general and snack less on high-calorie foods late at night. Students that eat breakfast also do better on tests and concentrate better in class. Adds to the benefits of eating breakfast. Need more breakfast ideas that include 3 of the 5 key food groups? How about putting fresh or frozen fruit along with oats and yogurt in a blender for a refreshing smoothie? Or try toast with melted cheeses and top with avocado. But you don't have to choose traditional breakfast foods. A quesadilla or even last night's dinner could be a good option for breakfast. Now it's your turn. What new ideas do you have for breakfast? Remember, aim for 3 food groups with a good source of protein so you can stay fuller longer and ready for your day. For more ideas, visit healthyeating.org.
Now you have the 3 out of 5 model to eat a healthy, balanced breakfast every day. So planning a breakfast, you want to use the equation that was shown in the video with grains plus veggies or fruits, and then adding dairy or protein. And dairy is in there because there is protein in dairy, but also what we learned from lesson 3 is that carbohydrates and fats. So here's a formula for simple foods to include would be like whole wheat bread, bagel, or tortilla, and that's part of the grains group. And then adding a sliced banana, which is a fruit, and peanut butter, which is protein. These whole foods combine protein with fats and carbohydrates to slow digestion up to several hours, which we've already learned from the video, and that keeps you full longer, making it easier to focus in school. So Breakfast doesn't have to be this big grand meal in the day. It can be something small just to get you started. It can be as simple as a smoothie, a yogurt parfait, the wrap that we just mentioned with banana and peanut butter. And if you do have the time making that avocado toast, maybe it's an open faced sandwich with an egg or a burrito, it's going to vary between each of you. So I have some recipes here, which I'll be sharing with the link in the email. And that way you can take a look at the websites to see what else may interest you. So applying it. Consider the amount of sleep you got. Did you get the recommended amount of sleep? And how did this affect your mood and energy throughout the day? How hungry were you throughout the day? Do you think your hunger was related to the amount of sleep you got? And do you think your sleep influenced the types of foods you ate? From yesterday, you want to evaluate your choices and how would you describe your eating pattern? How could that affect how you feel during the day? And what are some small steps you can take to reap the benefits of improved food choices? This is something for yourself to think about and to really just dig deep about how can you improve your sleep and will this improve everything else throughout your day. I know that yesterday I had a tough time at work, and that was because the night before I stayed up a little bit too late and I didn't get enough sleep as what I usually plan on. And then going into work midday, I was already crashing, I was exhausted, and I was just could not wait to get home. And I know that's because of the lack of sleep I got. And it didn't help that I didn't eat enough of my breakfast. So you can only imagine how much of a grump I might have been because I don't know about you, but I get a little grumpy if I don't get enough sleep. That's going to complete lesson 4, and that is it for this series.